Welcome to the Explainer. So, today we're going to be looking at a seriously fascinating framework for long term survival and success. And let's be real, in our incredibly fast paced modern world, we definitely need it. We're basing this entire breakdown on the insights of the renowned author Robert Greene. Now, Greene has basically spent his entire career studying the most successful historical figures and modern titans, and through all that research, he's identified a core set of abilities that completely outlast any passing technological trend. We're going to break down his master formula into clear, actionable steps so you can literally start applying it directly to your own life today.
But first, I want to pose this question directly to you right off the bat. What do you think are the most essential skills for the 21st century? Seriously, think about it for a second. If you're like most people, your mind probably jumps immediately to those highly technical fields, right? You might think of artificial intelligence, blockchain, advanced coding, or maybe some aggressive next-level business strategy. And hey, while those are certainly valuable, Greene argues that the real answer is actually much, much deeper than that. Okay, let's dive into this. We constantly think we need these highly specific technical hard skills, like mastering AI or coding. But according to Greene, what we actually need are foundational personal skills. In a world that is just completely saturated with technology, developing deep underlying personal skills and true knowledge should be your ultimate goal. Honestly, even more than chasing money. Because without a strong personal foundation, all the technical prowess in the world won't actually save you when things get tough. So here is exactly how we're going to break this down today. First, we'll look at the 21st century misconception. Second, we'll explore what Greene calls the social muscle. Third, we'll uncover the joy of the grind. Fourth, we'll embrace the power of the pause. And finally, we're going to bring it all together into his ultimate master formula. Let's get into it. All right, starting with part 1, the 21st century misconception and the limits of technical brilliance. So Greene makes this incredibly powerful point. He says, you could be the greatest athlete in the world, but if you offend your teammates, all your knowledge and skills are completely neutralized. And, the logic here is just absolutely compelling. You can possess a literal genius-level intellect, unparalleled coding ability, or completely unmatched physical talent. But if you don't know how to deal with the actual human beings around you, well, you create friction, and that friction ultimately neutralizes your raw talent. Which leads us directly into the very first essential skill we need to master. Moving on to part 2, the social muscle. This is all about treating socialization as an actual skill. A lot of us mistakenly believe that being social is this rigid personality trait, Like, you're either born a natural extrovert or you're just doomed to be bad with people forever. But Greene reframes this entirely. Social ability is not some genetic lottery ticket. It's a deliberate muscle that you have to actively train, develop, and maintain. So how exactly do we train this muscle? Well, Greene outlines some really specific, actionable techniques for cooperating and sensing people's energy. First, you actually have to pay attention to people as individuals, not just as stepping stones for your own goals. Second, identify their missing needs. Try to figure out what they're lacking in life and see if you can be the one to supply it. Third, enter their spirit. And by that, he means try to genuinely understand their perspective from the inside out. And finally, learn to criticize properly without causing unnecessary offense. If you need to correct a teammate or a colleague, you absolutely must learn how to do it tactfully. But here is the hard truth, and it's a tough pill to swallow for some of us. You cannot develop this muscle behind a screen. You must get out of your virtuality. Greene challenges us to literally put the phone down, leave the home office, and go to physical spaces, clubs, bars, community centers, honestly, anywhere with real breathing people. You have to force yourself to interact in the physical, offline world to actually build this social muscle. It is for sure the only environment where true sensitivity to human energy can be learned. All right, on to part 3, the joy of the grind, developing a love of learning. Okay, so once you can successfully navigate people, you need to be able to navigate your own self-improvement. Because if you don't find the learning process itself exciting, your entire game is eventually going to fall apart. Think about it. Learning out of obligation is like forcing yourself to learn algebra just because someone told you it's a good mental challenge. You probably aren't going to get very far because you aren't truly invested in it. But learning out of excitement, that's like studying French because you passionately want to read their classic literature in its original form. That natural motivation and sheer excitement are absolutely required to sustain the long and, let's face it, often painful process of acquiring a totally new skill. Actually, Robert Greene's own personal journey with playing pool illustrates this perfectly. So at month 0, he buys a pool table, basically just to escape the heavy, dark mindset of writing his book on war. Fast forward to month 3, and he's practicing these complex double bank shots, feeling that incredible rush of excitement as he actually starts improving. Jump ahead to 12 months, and get this, he's literally in 50 Cent's office, playing against the rapper, beating him 3 times in a row and feeling like he has totally arrived. But then, just 3 days later, at 12 months and 3 days, he goes to a random Manhattan pool hall and gets absolutely humbled, just completely creamed by another player. The lesson here? Mastering a new skill is full of dizzying highs and devastating lows. You have to genuinely love the grind itself if you want to push through that kind of frustration. Which brings us to section 4, the power of the pause, embracing patience and, even boredom. To survive those frustrating dips in learning we just talked about, you really must embrace patience and boredom. Greene identifies patience as the third crucial skill, and it serves as the ultimate antidote to the rapid, anxiety-inducing pace of our modern era. The problem is, our modern conditioning totally sets us up for failure here. Today, our baseline expectation is instant gratification. I mean, we literally feel rage over a 5-second delay in an internet download. But contrast that with the historical reality from just 20 or 30 years ago. If you wanted to know something back then, you spent an hour traveling to the library, physically finding a book, and searching for the answer. That process naturally baked patience right into your day. Because our technology is so insanely quick and powerful today, we've largely lost the ability to tolerate slowness. So Greene urges us to actively embrace tedious practice and just slow things down. A major part of this patience is what Greene specifically defines as anxiety management. This is the learned ability to handle the incredibly slow pace and frustration of producing large-scale projects, like writing a book or building a business from scratch without rushing to the finish line. When you start something big, you have to realize it's not going to exist for months, maybe even years. And that void, it creates immense anxiety. Enduring boredom and managing that long-term anxiety are deeply interrelated survival skills for anyone trying to build something meaningful today. Honestly, if you can't manage the panic of slow progress, you're going to quit way before you create anything of value. And finally, section 5, the master formula. This is where we see the ultimate synthesis. Okay, so once you've built your social grace to deal with people, ignited a deep love of learning to acquire hard skills, and developed immense patience to endure the long road, you finally unlock Greene's endgame. Step 1. You use your patience and that love of learning to master 2 or 3 distinct, really basic skills over a long period of time. Step 2. As you mature, roughly around the age of 30 or somewhere in that vicinity, you begin to see the hidden connections between these distinct skills, and you start to combine them. Step 3. Because you've combined these skills in a way that is entirely unique to your own journey, you can now create a completely new business or a brilliant enterprise. Those foundational personal skills act as the engine that allows you to combine multiple talents into something completely unique to you. And this isn't just some abstract theory, it's exactly what Greene did himself. So the crucial point is writing plus research equals the 48 laws of power. Think about it. He spent years patiently developing his writing abilities. He also spent years mastering the tedious, very slow process of deep historical research. Neither of those skills on their own was entirely unique. But when he combined them, managing his anxiety through that long, slow process of creation, he produced an absolute, massive, global success. We literally live in an age of miracles where you can theoretically learn any hard skill you want right from your living room. So I'm going to challenge you today. Put down the phone, embrace the slow, sometimes boring grind, and start building those essential foundational skills so you can eventually build your own unique enterprise. Because the ultimate question you have to ask yourself is this: you have endless information right at your fingertips, but you actually have the patience to master it?